Libra, my dear soul. Are you ready to receive 3 of the most divine gifts life has to offer: abundant money, a new life, and a sacred union? Because in this reading, you're going to discover why October isn't just another chapter in the calendar, it's the cosmic moment you've been waiting for. This is not speculation, it's alignment. Money is coming. A baby, literal or symbolic, forming. A wedding or life-changing commitment is unfolding. And this isn't coincidence. This is divine timing made manifest. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, why did you land here, right now? Out of the thousands of videos on this platform, what brought you to this exact reading at this exact moment? The answer lies not in chance but in alignment. You didn't just click. You were called. The truth is, Libra, the heavens are opening for you in October and your name is written in light across the sky. This is not about hoping. This is about receiving. And the 3 blessings I'm about to walk you through are not distant dreams, they are real shifts that are already in motion, waiting only for your readiness. I want you to picture it, a door in the sky, golden and glowing, slowly creaking open. From behind it pours light, warmth, and a soft whisper that says, "It's time." And beneath that light is you, steady, patient, beautiful Libra whose heart has waited long enough. If you feel your pulse quicken as I say these words, money, a child, a sacred vow, then know this message is not just meant for you. It was designed for you. Whether Libra is your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, this is your soul's personal invitation. October holds a trinity of blessings so interconnected, so transformative, that your life may never look the same again. Money won't come because you beg for it, it comes because you've earned the capacity to hold and manage it with wisdom. The baby, whether of flesh or of spirit, is your soul's rebirth, something you will nurture, grow, and protect. And the marriage, or commitment, is not just romantic, it is sacred. It is the anchoring of your heart to a love that mirrors your highest self. But before we continue, let me take a moment to thank you from the depths of my soul. Your presence here means everything. Every like, every comment, every subscription to this channel Zodiac Whisper Tarot fuels the spiritual work we share together. You are not just a viewer. You are part of this soul family. And your support makes it possible for me to continue bringing these transformational messages to you and others who are ready to awaken. Now, I encourage you, if you feel even a flicker of recognition in your chest, if something in you whispers, "This is for me," then I want you to comment below, "I have waited, and I am ready to receive." Let your words be more than a sentence. Let them be a declaration of readiness. Speak it out into the universe and anchor this energy into your timeline. Libra, something sacred is unfolding. And believe me when I say you're going to want to stay with me until the very last moment of this message. What the universe is revealing is not just beautiful, it is absolutely breathtaking. So tell me, what have you done consciously or unconsciously that has magnetized this message to you today? Because it's here. It's happening. And it's yours. Let's go deeper. There are moments in your life, Libra, when things begin to move quietly, powerfully without needing loud announcements or grand gestures. And often, what appears as sudden wealth or financial expansion is simply the visible bloom of seeds you've planted long ago, when no one was watching. This phase you're entering in October is not about luck, it's about divine timing meeting tangible preparation. You've been doing the work behind the scenes, working late hours, saying no to instant gratification, holding on to faith when others would have walked away. That's not survival. That's alignment. And now, what you've stored in silence is returning with sound. Venus, your ruling planet, finds grounding as it moves into an Earth sign at the beginning of October. This is no small cosmic event for you, it's a spiritual green light. When a planet of beauty, money, and value steps onto stable ground, it brings real outcomes. Not wishes. Not illusions. But measurable results. Add to that Saturn, the planet of structure and discipline, ending its retrograde motion, and suddenly the delays and stagnation begin to make sense. They were never meant to stop you. They were meant to strengthen your inner foundation, so that when this flood of abundance arrives, you're not overwhelmed. You're ready. If your birthday falls between September 23rd and October 2nd, you may notice a reawakening of old financial opportunities. Things you thought were closed or failed may return with new life. Think of it as a loan from the universe being repaid with interest. If you're born between October 3rd and October 12th, your flow may come through people collaborations, team efforts, or partnerships that suddenly start bearing fruit. And for those of you born from October 13th to October 22nd, your gifts, those creative talents, intuitive insights, that artistic flair you've kept hidden or underused, those are your currency now. What once felt too soft for the market now becomes your niche of gold. But here's the deeper truth: your external wealth is just a mirror of your inner permission. You do not attract money simply because you want it, you attract it because you finally believe you deserve to receive it without guilt. So now, ask yourself gently, what stories about money have I been carrying that aren't mine? What fears, family scripts, or cultural limits have I unknowingly repeated in my own life? Write them down. Speak them out. And then let them gun it with anger, but with peace. You were doing your best with the beliefs you had. But this is a new season. Light a candle. Sit in stillness. And as a simple exercise, write 10 limiting beliefs you have around money. Then, rewrite each one as an empowered truth. Instead of, I have to work hard for every dollar, you might say, I allow money to flow to me through ease, joy, and aligned purpose. These are more than affirmations theory, new energetic contracts. Burn the old page if it feels right. Watch the smoke rise like a signal to your higher self that you've made a choice to grow. You don't need to chase wealth. You need to clear space for it. And Libra, this month, your aura becomes magnetic when you do. Surround yourself with colors that hold power for you: mint green for clarity, sapphire blue for aligned intuition, and metallic gold to embody the abundance you're stepping into. Let your environment reflect the truth of your inner shift. This is not just about money. It's about recognizing your own worth. Because what's coming to you, whether through a contract, a client, a new opportunity, or a simple yes from the universe, is already encoded in your energy field. You're not earning it. You're receiving what has always been meant for you, now that you finally believe it's safe to have it. Sometimes, what we call a baby is not a child in our arms but a calling in our soul that insists on being born. Libra, what you're feeling right now may not be something you can fully explain to others, just a quiet knowing, a stirring within you that something new is asking to come through you. Whether it's the dream of building a family, launching a meaningful project, or simply reclaiming a part of yourself that has long been buried beneath duty and doubt, this season is asking you to become the nurturer of something sacred. And the miracle is, you don't have to know exactly what it is yet. You only need to make space for it to arrive. October is carrying the frequency of conception for you. That may sound poetic, but it's also energetically real. Venus, the planet that governs your sign, opens doors to softness, receptivity, and beauty. But more importantly, it invites gestation, the quiet, invisible, and profound work of becoming. When paired with the healing force of the star card in tarot, and the abundant fertility of the Empress, we don't just see the possibility of new life, you see the resurrection of your own creative power. The part of you that dares to dream again. The part that is willing to nurture what it can't yet fully see. For some Libras, this may be quite literal, a long-awaited pregnancy, a positive result after months or even years of uncertainty. And if that's you, know this: what is forming within you is more than biology. It's divine timing in motion. And if you've struggled, if you've cried quietly in the night while pretending everything was okay during the day, know that the universe has not been deaf to your longing. But for others, this baby comes in different forms: a business that feels like your legacy, an idea that won't let go, a shift in your life purpose that calls for your full devotion. These babies, these symbolic children of your spirit, need your protection just as much as a child of flesh and blood. They need your presence, your belief, your patience. And they need you to remember that your worthiness is not based on the outcome but on your willingness to begin. In a world that constantly tells you to be productive, measurable, and visible, giving yourself permission to grow something slowly, quietly, and without certainty is a radical act of faith. Not blind faith but embodied trust. The kind of trust that says, even if I don't see results yet, I believe this matters. I believe this life, this seed is real. If you've been waiting for a sign to start again, this is it. Write a letter not just to a child you may one day hold, but to the version of you that will hold them. Or to the future self who finally finishes that book, opens that retreat center, or creates that healing space for others. Tell that future self what you're willing to offer now in exchange for what's coming. And then, let the wind carry your words out into the unseen. Sometimes, prayer doesn't need to be whispered with closed eyes. Sometimes, it looks like choosing to show up even when it's uncomfortable. That, too, is sacred. And in this process, be gentle with yourself. Release the urge to rush or control the timeline. Honor your inner rhythms. Rest when your energy dips. Laugh when life surprises you. And above all, protect the space where this new life, this baby of body or of light, can grow. Let October be the month you say yes, even before the answers are clear. Let it be the season where belief becomes a bridge and where your spirit remembers that you, too, are allowed to begin again. Love, for you, Libra, has never been just about romance. It has always been about depth, truth, balance, and something sacred that words often fail to express. You've walked the winding path of the heart more than once. You've given generously, sometimes to people who didn't know how to receive you. You've waited patiently, sometimes too long, for something real to rise from fleeting connections. And you've carried the quiet ache of knowing your love is vast but rarely matched. And yet, somehow, you've never stopped believing in the possibility of something lasting. That is the true strength of your soul. Not the way you fall in love but the way you still hold space for it even after being hurt. October brings a new frequency. And what's different about it is not just who enters your life, it's how ready you are to meet love from a place of inner alignment. When we talk about sacred union, we're not only talking about weddings or engagements, though for many Libras, those doors are opening too. We're speaking about the merging of energies that feel fated, that feel like home. Whether it's the return of someone who once let you go but has since grown into the version of themselves you always saw in them. Or whether it's a brand new soul whose eyes seem to speak a language your heart has waited lifetimes to hear. This is a season of alignment, not accident. But sacred union isn't just with another person, it begins with you. Sometimes, the most powerful wedding we ever experience is the moment we choose ourselves. The moment we stop abandoning our needs for the sake of keeping peace. The moment we say, I forgive the version of me who didn't know better, and I now vow to stay loyal to who I'm becoming. This inner commitment radiates. It attracts people and circumstances that are not just compatible but devoted. Astrologically, we see this reflected in the interplay between Venus and Saturn, love and structure, softness and seriousness. Emotionally, it's symbolized in tarot by the Hierophant, who speaks to commitment with depth, the Two of Cups, which whispers of soul-to-soul connection, and Judgment, the card of divine second chances and reconciliations that were always meant to happen when both hearts were ready. These energies suggest that this isn't about chasing love, it's about recognizing it when it finally mirrors your maturity. For those who've been feeling the weight of waiting, the question is not, why hasn't it happened, but rather, am I ready to receive what I've been asking for? Because the truth is, love doesn't arrive when we feel empty. It arrives when we finally overflow with clarity, with worthiness, with the knowing that we will never again settle for halfway love. The universe is precise. It doesn't waste sacred partnerships on half-grown hearts. And you, Libra, have done the inner work. You've grown. You've evolved. And now, your outer world is starting to reflect that readiness. If it helps, write a letter to yourself as if you were your own beloved. Say the words you've always needed to hear. Affirm your value. Make a vow that from this day forward, you will love yourself the way you've always longed to be loved by someone else. This simple ritual can shift everything. And as for the colors that support your heart space this month, surround yourself with soft pinks for self-compassion, wine reds for depth, and jade greens for harmony. These aren't just colors, they are vibrational tools that remind your body what your spirit already knows. So as this month unfolds, don't be surprised if someone appears with a gaze that quiets all your questions. Or if an old name returns in a new form. Or if, in the silence of your own reflection, you realize that the most beautiful love story of your life is beginning with you. Not everything blooms in spring. Some of the most extraordinary miracles arrive in the quieter seasons after we've done the waiting, the watering, the silent nurturing that no one claps for. Libra, October carries the vibration of harvest, and it doesn't apologize for arriving late. That's because its gifts are not rushed. They are refined, matured, deeply rooted in the choices you've made throughout the year, even the ones you thought went unnoticed. This month is the culmination of a sacred cycle. Think of it like this: spring is when you plant, summer is when you labor and hope, and October is when the earth finally opens her hands and says, "Now, you may receive." Cosmically, the alignment of Jupiter, planet of expansion, blessings, and divine increase shifting into an air sign is no small detail for you as an air sign yourself. It means the wind is finally at your back. Things that once felt heavy may begin to move more easily. Conversations open that had previously been closed. Opportunities that once floated just out of reach begin to anchor. And let's not ignore the solar eclipse later in the month. Eclipses often bring the unexpected, but they don't bring chaos without reason. They sweep away what no longer serves so something more aligned can emerge. So if something ends suddenly in October, trust that it's clearing the path for a breakthrough that was previously blocked. This is why timing matters. You may have felt like you were ready months ago. But the truth is, readiness isn't about desire, it's about capacity. And now, your energy field, your emotional clarity, and your practical foundation are aligned in a way they weren't before. You are not the same person you were in June. You've grown. Quietly. Steadily. And that inner evolution is what makes this moment right. Timing is not random. It's spiritual architecture. There's a real story. I once heard a woman who, in the midst of loneliness and doubt, wrote a letter to her future husband, folded it carefully, and tucked it in her nightstand. At the time, she had no idea that her future husband lived just 3 houses down, walking the same streets, unknowingly praying for someone just like her. Months later, they met through what appeared to be coincidence. But the truth is, divine timing had been orchestrating their meeting all along. This kind of timing isn't just about romance, it's about readiness meeting opportunity. Your October carries that same quiet orchestration. You might not see it happening, but it is. And if you've been discouraged, if the waiting has worn you down, let this be your gentle reminder: delay is not denial. Sometimes the most beautiful harvests take the longest to grow. And when they arrive, they don't just satisfy, they restore. So instead of asking, why now, ask, what am I finally ready to hold without fear? Because when blessings come, they also come with responsibility. Love requires openness. Money requires discernment. Purpose requires alignment. And you, Libra, are more prepared now than you've ever been. As you move through this month, slow down enough to recognize the signs of your own growth. Look around, what's coming into your life now that wouldn't have had room to land before? What's shifting, not because you forced it, but because you've been becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it? That's not magic. That's harvest. So trust the season. Trust the process. And most of all, trust yourself. October didn't arrive late. It arrived exactly when your soul was ready to receive. Receiving, Libra, is an act of courage. It's easy to say you want more love, more clarity, more abundance, but can you hold it without shrinking, without sabotaging, without questioning whether you deserve it? As we step into a month that holds space for profound shifts, your greatest preparation isn't external, it's internal. You're not waiting for life to hand you something. You're being invited to expand the space within you so what's coming has room to land, grow, and root itself for good. One of the most compassionate things you can do for yourself right now is to clear away what no longer reflects your becoming. That means honoring the spaces physical, emotional, and energetic where clutter has accumulated. It's not just about cleaning out your closet, although that's a powerful start. It's about letting go of what no longer fits the version of you that's rising. The clothes that carry old memories, the drawers full of just-in-case items, the energy of relationships that feel more draining than nourishing. This is the time to release them all, with grace. You're not punishing the past. You're simply making room for the future. Your body, too, is a sacred vessel for receiving. If you've been feeling sluggish, scattered, or disconnected, consider how your physical body might be mirroring your spiritual congestion. Keep it simple. Start your mornings with water, stretch gently, take walks without a destination. Avoid substances that cloud your intuition or dull your clarity. You don't need to adopt a perfect diet, just one that reminds your body you're listening now. Even a few small changes can help you recalibrate, so you're not just attracting good things, you're actually able to feel them when they arrive. As for your work and your money, this is the season to come back to what matters. Ask yourself honestly, are the things I'm investing time and energy into aligned with what I say I want? Sometimes we get caught in cycles of productivity that feel like progress but actually pull us away from our purpose. This is your chance to redirect. Look for projects, clients, and commitments that don't just feed your wallet, but also feed your soul. The goal isn't just to make a living, it's to make a life. One that feels sustainable, meaningful, and in integrity with who you are becoming. Here's a gentle practice to help anchor this moment. Take time to write a letter to yourself, not the version of you who's already achieved everything, but the version who survived. The version who stayed, who tried again, who kept showing up on days when quitting would have been easier. Thank them. Honor them. Acknowledge their quiet resilience. And let that moment of recognition remind you that what's ahead isn't about becoming someone new, it's about finally making space for the truth of who you've always been. You can also try journaling one thing each day for the next 21 days, something you're ready to receive, not from a place of desperation, but from calm expectancy. This small ritual gently conditions your mind and spirit to live in a receptive state. Because when the blessings arrive, and they will, you'll already be positioned to hold them with both hands open. There's a beautiful rhythm to alignment. And right now, the universe is trying to harmonize with you. All you need to do is clear out the noise, steady your center, and keep showing up. Receiving doesn't begin when the thing arrives. It begins when you declare yourself available. So take a deep breath, Libra, and make yourself available now. Libra, if you've made it here, to the very end of this message, I want to pause and honor you for your presence, your openness, and your quiet strength. You've listened not just with your ears, but with your spirit. And somewhere, deep down, I believe you already know, something is shifting. Not just around you, but in you. This October isn't just a turning point on the calendar. It's a moment where your preparation meets divine alignment. And everything we've explored today, abundance, new life, sacred commitment, is already circling closer, waiting for your permission to enter. You weren't born to live in the shadows of almosts, maybes, or one days. You were created to thrive in fullness. But wholeness doesn't always arrive in fireworks, it often begins in a whisper, in the quiet decision to stop waiting for someone else to validate your dreams. So I want to ask you, Libra, what would your life look like if you believed you were already chosen? If you knew that the blessings coming weren't a reward for your perfection, but a reflection of your readiness? What would change if, instead of asking whether you're worthy, you began asking, how can I make space for what's mine? Could you release old doubts, speak to yourself more gently, take one small action towards something you've postponed too long? Because the truth is, you already have the map. You've always had it. Everything you need to step into this next season is either within you now or it's on its way. I want to encourage you to go back through what we shared. Take a breath and ask, what resonated most deeply with me? Was it the call to detox and simplify? The invitation to believe in a new beginning? The nudge to finally commit, oh love, to purpose, to yourself? Don't just absorb these messages, apply them. Let this be the moment you stop scrolling through possibility and start living in alignment. And if something within you stirred today, even a subtle spark, leave a comment below and speak it into motion. Say, I'm ready. October is mine. That may seem small, but declaration creates momentum. It tells the universe, I'm open now. And when you share your energy, you inspire others in this community to do the same. Because we're building more than a space for horoscopes here, we're co-creating a movement of clarity, healing, and intention. Before you go, if this message spoke to your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, our mission is to bring you more than predictions. We bring alignment, soul guidance, and reminders that you are never walking alone. And if you know another Libra who needs to hear this, share it with them. Let them know that miracles don't always knock loudly, sometimes they arrive wrapped in a message just like this. So now, dear Libra, ask yourself gently, what have I outgrown? What am I now brave enough to receive? And who am I becoming when I finally stop delaying joy? Whatever your answer is, trust it. The universe is listening. And so am I.